Hey, the mic's on. Let's see. Benita, can you hear me? Gail, can you hear me?
You.
Yes. Okay, good. I want to say welcome, everybody to Tea Time, Tea Talks, Lord Tea Time, Tea Talks with Tawawn. This is the launch of our podcast, Tea Talks with Tawawn. I am excited about our first launch. And because it's our first launch, I wanted to do it live. I wanted to live stream it on Facebook, on YouTube, because I want everybody to come in and join us. We're going to have a good conversation today. I just want to tell you a little bit about Tea Talks with Tawawn. It's really about some transformational lifestyle content, me sharing information, sharing individuals with you all who can empower and equip you to live your best life, whatever that means, because we're going to talk about that today, living your best life. But it's really to equip you, to help you become the best version of yourself and create the life that you want to create for yourself. And today I picked two people that have been in my life now, it seems like for the last 10 years, to help me in celebrating and launching my podcast. One is Miss Bonita Parker. She is a CEO coach to people, to helping people become CEO of their own business. We got Gail Crowder. She is the sexpert, y'all. Sexpert. Hear me when I
I
say
love
helping to
that.
keep, yeah, helping to keep marriages together. And of course, you got me, Tea Talk, you got Tawawn. I am bringing everybody a little TLC, that transformational lifestyle content, get you to be your best self. And I truly want you to create your best life. And I want that for you because for almost half my life, I didn't do that. And now that I am walking in my purpose and I know who I am, I want to make sure, my goal is to make sure that I touch as many people as possible, share with them how they cannot be stuck and how they can also walk in their own shoes. So we are here today because I want to talk about this subject, living your best life. And why I chose this subject is because maybe over the last couple of weeks or so, I have had a couple of people reach out to me to do some 15-minute consultation with me. And when I asked them what do they want for themselves, and everybody's response was, I want to live my best life. I was like,
Mm.
oh, okay, that's good. Tell me what living your best life is. And when I asked the question, can I tell you that everybody got stumped? They could not explain to me what living their best life is, but all they know is they want to live their best life. So I thought that was for our show topic today. So I'm going to bring my guest back on, and I want Bonita to first share with us, what does living your best life really mean to you?
Okay. All right. Well, we all have our own definitions of what living my best life means based on where we are, what we're trying to accomplish. But living your best life to me means having a clear, concise purpose and having a strong impact to change the lives of many people. To me, that's what living your best life is. It means living with genuine happiness where you're literally able to live the life that you've always wanted, achieve the goals that you've always wanted to in life, and that that you set out to achieve actually, and get to the point where you don't have anything to complain about. That to me is what living your best life is. Just being able to count your blessings and not have a care in the world. You've accomplished and achieved everything that you set out to do.
Like that. I like that. Now, Gail, tell me what living your best life means to you.
Well, for me, living my best life is really truly understanding who I am from the inside out, not patterning myself after anybody, not trying to accomplish anybody else's goals, dreams, or aspirations, living out my core values, just really walking the path that God has set for me and understanding that I am not here to reach everybody. I am here to serve a certain segment of people, and God has led me to that segment of wives and marriages. And so once I really settled that I didn't have to be everybody and try to emulate after everybody, that's when I realized that I was living my best life because I found my purpose.
Yes. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think part of living your best life is finding out what your life purpose is and why you are here. But when I was talking with some of the potential clients that were calling, that I was having a consultation with, and when I asked them what living their best life was, a lot of them seem to think that living your best life means you have to be a business owner, you have to have multiple streams of income. And I found that to be interesting. And I know if you go out and you Google anything and you look at what it says about living your best life, the world will tell you living your best life is being able to jet set, being able to have all this money, having this fabulous life. But really living your best life, part of living your best life is defining what happiness means to you and what happiness looks like for you. It's also, yes, it is about finding your purpose, but at the end of the day, and this is what I said to all of the individuals that I was consulting with, if everybody was a business owner, how could you ever go out and have a nice dinner?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
absolutely.
Everybody living your best life is not about being a business owner. Living your best life is identifying the things that you need to help you live out your best life so you can be happy, so you can have joy. All the things that will give you what you want for yourself, the vision that you have for your life. And your vision may not be to be a business owner. Your vision may be that I want to just be this work in the government and have a good job and retire at a GS-15 level. And if you like what you do, that's living your best life. It's not necessarily tied into, I believe, being an entrepreneur and things like that. Because if that's the case, you know how many people we have out here who are not entrepreneurs, but they are really still living their best lives. So I think what people never do, kind of like with success, they never define what it is for them. And that's one of the things that I went back and I said to those individuals, define that for yourself. Stop looking at TV, stop looking at Facebook. I even reference Snoop Dogg, and I can't even think the little guy, that song, the guy, living my best life. Can't sing, but anyway,
I cannot stand
you listen
that song.
Am
Am I the only one that don't like that song?
You don't
No,
like
I like
that
the
song?
hook, but
Because
no.
Well,
I think so.
Tawawn, going back to what you were saying, years ago when I got into the entrepreneur space, I got into the entrepreneur space because was attracted to the shiny, right? I was attracted to, what you see on Facebook and people saying, "Oh, I'm doing this vacation and I'm doing this and I'm, carrying this handbag and I'm doing all that kind of stuff." But at the end of the day, once I got into this space and I realized that a lot of that stuff is not real, because even though they're carrying their handbag, behind the scenes, they don't even have that money in the bank, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah, they probably going on vacation, but at the end of the day, they going back to an apartment. Nothing wrong with no apartment, but if you're going to be jet setting, you should own some property to me. This is just how I was thinking. And I always said I would never carry a handbag that I didn't have the money in the bank to put in that designer handbag, right? And so it's just a lot of things that our life has been, altered to think that's the best life. But I will tell you, and Tawawn and myself and some other people had this conversation. People think COVID has been bad. For me, COVID has been amazing. And why it was amazing for me is because it made me get out of the streets, run the streets to teach and speak and do all of these different things, and really sit back and realize what mattered most to me.
Mm-hmm.
What mattered most to me. And that's why I said live in my core values, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all of this stuff that we have accrued, we can't take with us, right? Yeah. Serving other people, checking on
Mm-hmm.
other people, building, memories with my family. Those are the things that makes me live my best life.
Yeah.
Right. Serving other people and marriages when they call me and they couldn't pay for me, pay for my services, but me doing it anyway, because I know that God's going to bless me on the other end. That's living my best life. So it has really helped me put in things into perspective for me.
Gail, that kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have heard of Brendan Burchard, but he's
Yes.
I love him. He's a New York Times bestselling author and coach. But he says this thing, he's like, at the end of our lives, we all ask, did I live, did I love, and did I matter? Something like that. And that just made me think of that, because so many people think that living your best life is basically living on your own, and it's not. Or it's some uh surface level definition that they don't even go deep inside. But you still have rules to follow. Even living on your own, you still have rules to follow. There's still a level of obedience that comes with living on your own. You still have to think about the people around you and the welfare of those people. So what you just said just kind of resonated with me and spoke to that. So it's like you have people who have achieved everything, the luxury cars, the mansions, properties, fame, money, whatever, but they still remain discontented because they are not serving from a deeper level. So
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question, Benita. You said you don't like the song "Living Your Best Life." Why you don't like that song?
Specifically because of this topic, because people don't really know what it means. And it became a cliche. It just became something that people started chanting. And every time you turned around, like I would see on social media, like somebody could say something so simple. I'm just going to say, for instance, it's raining outside. I don't care. I'm living my best life and sit right here on this sofa. And I'm like, that's not really living your best life. Like, what are you talking about? So that's what made me hate it, is because he to me, he made it a cliche. He just made it just a thing that people started chanting. It just was the next cool thing to say. And nobody really dug into what the hell it actually meant. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't like it.
Okay, so I don't like it either. I mean, when it first came out, I was like, if I hear it one more time, I'm really going to
And
scream.
then nothing he said in the song identified that he was living his best life. It was just like, I ain't going back and forth. But it was, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think Snoop said a couple of things, been on some shows, I done did this and I done did that. So I was like, so that identifies for me what living his best life was. But I agree with you, Benita. It was really like, it was a song with a good hook and it had a good beat. Because I mean, now I really love the beat, but I pay no attention to the words because I'm like you. Right. I believe people didn't understand, because see, them two might have had a definition of what living their best life was for them, but they did not give that in the song. All they gave you was some words. Matter of fact, they was getting rich living their best life off of you shaking to their song, not even knowing what the song really
and
meant.
Chanting those words and claiming
I don't
you
even know none of the rest of the words. I just know that hook.
Yeah, that's all I know.
That's all I know. Listen, that's all I know too, and I don't even like that. I mean, at first it was cool when I first heard it, but then sometimes you sit and you get quiet and you be like, hey, am I really living my best life? I ain't singing that stupid song. I ain't living my best. I ain't telling nobody I'm living my best life and I'm not. Like, you know, I don't know. I just think too much, probably.
But I think you also said something that was important, Benita. A lot of people took the song, they liked it, and they were just using it for anything. I know somebody said, I saw on a friend's page, they were going on vacation, talking about I'm living my best life. Yeah. And I was like, is going on vacation really living your best life? But again, living your best life really is what you identified to be for you. So it really could be sitting on the couch watching the rain, talking about I'm living my best life. Because if you are content and sitting on that couch and listen to the raindrops hit against the window, and that's all that you get, and it brings you happiness and joy, that could truly be living your best life if you have defined it.
I'm hoping it's giving you joy because you've already accomplished all the other things that you needed to accomplish. And so now you just want to sit on the sofa and take a breather and let the rain hit the window. That's what I'm hoping. Oh.
Yeah. She said,
yeah, look.
She said, everybody was just, I'm living my best life. It don't have nothing to do with it.
And nothing to do with nothing, Gail. It was ridiculous. And I was like, Lord have mercy. It's this, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but it's kind of the same way as people, you know, using the the blessing word, or everything is a blessing, or listen. Okay, let's stay on topic. Let's just stay on topic.
Do you mean that I'm blessed and highly favored? Every time you speak to somebody, I'm just blessed.
Or every
I'm
single
just blessed.
thing. God done blessed me. Like he could have found your sock under the sofa. Oh, what a blessing. And I'm just like, it's just crazy. People just say stuff just to be saying it, and they don't even really give thought to what that statement actually means, and you know how it actually resonates with your life or shows up with your life, like on a larger or deeper scale. They just saying it because it sounds cool.
Yeah, I can agree
because it sounds
with that.
cool, right?
Yeah,
it is. And like I said, it's like the word success. It's something that you really have to define for yourself. And that's why I just found it interesting that I had several people, and when I asked them why were they coming to me and what did they want to work towards, and they was like, I want to live my best life. And when they couldn't even explain that to me, I was like, well, how can I do my job as a coach and help you live your best life if
when
you don't even know
no
what your best life is, what it looks like to you? You have no idea. And I can't tell you what your best life is. I can only talk about what Tawawn best life is. So I cannot even say what your best life is. So one of the things, let me ask you, have you ever thought in your life that you were never living your best life?
Absolutely. Yeah. And how I knew I wasn't living my best life, it was I was running myself ragged and I still didn't know what I wanted out of life. And I was trying to be and do and be everywhere, and that's not what was not my best life. And so I think anybody that has been on a journey and is truly trying to walk out this life, right? I think we all have fallen short and got in somebody else's lane, couple of lanes for me. And and it's not healthy. It's really not healthy.
Absolutely. I think we've all been there.
I would say
absolutely.
Yeah. I think I live half my life not living my best life.
Absolutely.
What got me to the place of putting myself under the microscope and really looking at my life and where I was, and was I really happy? Did I really have joy? Was I really living a purpose-driven life? What was I really doing with my life? And when I looked at myself and had a hard look at me, I was not happy with what I saw in the mirror. And I can guarantee you, I was not living my best life. I wasn't even living. All I was doing was existing, getting up every morning, putting one foot in front of the other, with no vision for my life, no goals and intentions, not knowing what my purpose was. So I can tell you, I definitely know what not living your best life is. That is for sure.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people kind of are stuck in that place or in that place. So that's why they gravitate to the song and like it, because I think they want that. More people are trying to find how they can live their best life. How can they do things? But being stuck too doesn't move them to living their best life, because living your best life really requires a lot of intention. It requires you to so I'm gonna give people a step. I'm gonna tell you one step you should take if you really want to live your best life. You first have to take responsibility for your life. You can't live your best life and if you're not responsible for it. And there's so many people out here. I was one of them. When on this podcast, TeaTalk with Tawawn, I'm going to be very transparent. You're going to learn all my business. And you're going to learn it because it's going to be teachable moments, so you don't have to make the mistakes that I've made. But I know what it's not. I know what it's like not to live your best life. And I wasn't taking responsibility. I blamed a lot of things. If anybody know my story, I blamed the test I took in the 7th grade to say I would never be nothing than a cafeteria worker. I blamed all the failures and disappointments I had in starting businesses didn't work, relationships that didn't work. I blamed everything and took no ownership for me. No ownership for if I wanted to reach a certain place and a certain destination, it was up to me. It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to Gail to get me there. It's not up to Bonita to get me there. But Tawawn had to become intentional about who she was and what she wanted, which meant that I had to figure out and define for myself what living my best life would look like. Of course, that's not what I was calling it, but that's what I had to do. And I think a lot of people, that requires work. That really requires you to put yourself under a microscope, for you to look at yourself and be truthful. And a lot of people don't want to look at themselves, because then they have to be honest about, dang, am I living my best life? Am I doing so? Tell me, what do you all think about that? Do you think people are really, people are still sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to happen instead of being proactive?
Instead of making it
And
happen?
understand you have to make it
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, for me, I think you have to know your self-worth and your self-value first, right? Because when you don't value yourself and you comparing yourself to other people that you see on social media, right? And Facebook is a face lie. Everybody, you ain't putting nothing bad on there. You ain't putting, you know, you ain't putting that, I just got dumped by my husband or my boyfriend. You ain't putting on there that
Right.
you got to the hotel and in your resort and your credit card didn't go through. You ain't putting on there. You ain't putting none of that on there. You putting all
Right.
the good stuff on there, right? And building yourself up. But when you get off of these social media platforms, what is really going on with you? What is really going on with you that you have to lie to other people to make you think you doing so great, right?
Yeah.
That's where the work comes in. That's where the transformation really comes, to really begin to live your best life. Because the hardest person to lie to is yourself, right? And when you get real with yourself and and that's the reason why I say, when you truly know yourself from the inside out, right? And you are able to show up and be your authentic self, and people who want to be around you accept you 100% for yourself, that's the beginning of learning to live your best life. Because you're going to have to deal with you and your lies, your shortcomings, your happiness, your all of that. You're going to have to show up and deal with you, right? And so when you're able to deal with yourself fully and show up authentically wherever you go, not putting on airs and none of these things, everything else will begin to line up,
Well,
because you
yeah.
ain't got to live no double life.
Yep. I totally and completely agree with that. Totally. You got to have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition so that you can truly be who you are or who you want to become, and then let that guide you through to the next steps, for sure. Definitely.
And a lot of people like to use that fake it till you make it.
Uh,
I think that is setting you up to fail. I really
definitely.
do.
Yeah.
A lot of people like, girl,
Yeah.
just fake it till you make it. No,
No.
I'm going to take these steps, and when I fall, I'm gonna say I fail, and I'm gonna get back up or whatever. And that's the reason why I think people who are 100% authentic, Tawawn, and people know me behind the scenes. The same way I show up on Facebook is the same way I am in person. I can't live a double life. Because the worst thing is somebody come interview Gil and they get a whole different story. I'm the same way all the time, because you can't live your best life lying. You just can't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are finding out that the people that they're following or trying to emulate or whatever. And yes, success leaves clues, right? But people just don't pop up and be successful. It's a whole lot of failure, whole lot of tears, a whole lot of stuff that then happened behind the scenes to put them right there where they are, that we trying to emulate and get it in the day. It don't work like that.
Yeah. Something that you
That's just
said
me.
though, Gail, that is real key, and I think people don't understand that. The one thing I always tell all my clients, my friends, and anybody in my life: don't lie to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do not lie to yourself, because the moment you start lying to yourself and believing that foolishness, then You can never get outside of that space that you're stuck in. And that's why most people don't want to do the work, because they do start faking it, trying to fake it till they can make it. And they start
Absolutely.
telling themselves all these other stories. You need to tell yourself the dirty truth. You need
Yep.
to tell the truth that I didn't believe I could be anything. If that's what
Yep.
you thought for 10 years, that's what you thought for 10 years. You can think something different. You can have a growth mindset and you can move to something different. But when you lying to yourself and then you start
Mhm.
believing your own lie, because your lie will become your truth. Okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna make it true.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
so when you lie to yourself, how can you talk about I'm living my best life, and in your best
And you
life you
don't even
can't
know
be
what your life
authentic.
is.
You don't even know what your life is. Right.
Cause
So
I
you
done
know, it's
pulled
just
my some lies from so what I think Tawawn is. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do what Doctor. Everybody. I want to be everything. And then when I show up, I don't have no substance because I didn't mix
Absolutely.
and intertwine everybody else's best life into mine.
Into mine. Yep. Absolutely.
into
Absolutely.
mine.
I
And I
always
don't know if I'm
tell,
coming or going, so I can't give you the authentic me because I done got mixed up, you know. And years ago, Tawan did an amazing thing, like with these masks. I forgot the name of the class you taught with these masks, and she was talking about how people just walk around with these masks on, and when you meet them, oh, that's the one. When you meet them, you can't decipher who they are. You
yeah.
just really confused.
Mhm.
And we all have met people that they got these pictures up, and then when you see them in person, you like, oh Jesus, I caught the voice. That's not living your best life.
No,
I
no,
am
it's not.
not.
Okay,
Vanita,
okay, Tawan, I know this is your show, but we talking about living your best life. You got
Right.
to be
yeah,
authentic with your best life. And that class that you taught years ago when I first met you, you need to teach it again because that mask. So many people get caught up in that, and we have, us in the business world and coaches and stuff have really painted bad pictures for some of these people, and these people are hurting out here because they're living lies.
they live
Listen,
lives.
if
Yeah.
I may be so blunt and honest and brutal, half the coaches out here are living lies too. So we just gonna say that out loud because that's what I felt like saying. Now, you can't teach nobody if you ain't coming from an authentic place yourself. So we gonna let that roll.
It's very hard. It is very hard. And when Benita, you had something I remember some years ago. You did about unmasking or something
Yeah.
like that.
Uh-huh.
And it is so
Unmask
many
yourself.
people that are living behind a mask. And on this mask, I have low self esteem. I
Yep.
have fear, regret, rejection, shame, self doubt, inadequate, not enough, abandonment, hurt. It is so many
Yeah.
people who have not dealt with their own issues. So to start pretending like you living your best life, let me say something about living your best life. Even in pretending, even if you pretend to live your best life, there will be something that will show up in your best life that will trigger one of these things that you have not
Woo.
dealt with, and it will show you
Absolutely.
who you really are, and it will reveal that you're truly not living your best life. And guess what?
Hmm.
It's okay to say you hurt. It's okay to say when I got my second divorce, it put me in the floor and I was almost devastated because I'm asking, why can't am I not lovable, or why can't I sustain a relationship? Whatever it is that ails you, hurts you mentally, and keeps you in bondage, keep you struggling, stumbling, and stuck. You have to
Hmm.
deal with that to try to get part of getting to your best life, as Gail said, is self-awareness.
Yep.
Self-awareness is looking at all of those things that are perfect and imperfect and being okay in the imperfect, but also working on the imperfect. You can be
Right.
okay with it, but I got to work towards trying to make some things better. Okay, I can't stay there. So if you really want to live life, start working on you. Take responsibility for
Hmm.
yourself. That's where I started. Take responsibility for yourself. And part of that responsibility is becoming self aware, learning about who you are, how you want to show up in this world, and what you want to do in this world. That's where it starts to. I want to stop right here. I want to go to a commercial because we do have one wonderful sponsor. And then I just want to share some things that's going on with me on this upcoming Saturday. And then I want to come back and get into some more robust conversations. And I want Benita and Gail to share with us what's going on with them as well. So we're going to go to a commercial right now. Hope you have enjoyed Tea Talk with Tawawn thus far with me and my guests, Benita Parker and Gail Crowder. Stop turning your face up like that, Gail. What's wrong with you, girl?
Everybody needs a little TLC. Transformational lifestyle content. You know what I'm talking about. That little TLC we all need to help us become our best selves and create our best lives. Hi, my name is Tawawn Lowe, and I am the founder of the TLC Publishing Company. And when I say I am super excited because we are launching a series of books entitled Everybody Needs a Little TLC. Go online and order your copy today. Remember, everybody needs a little TLC.
Likes that. Oh,
I love that.
I love it.
Congratulations.
Oh,
yeah. Everybody needs a little TLC.
That is a nice commercial.
Yes, we all need some TLC. Thank you. And you know what? It's actually
I need to get popping on there. I need to get popping.
But look, I'm like, okay, wait a minute now. I got some ideas for my summit.
You got some ideas? But look, we're talking about being self-aware. This book would actually be ideal for anybody who is talking about becoming their best selves and just starting their journey or need to get back on their journey. Get a little everybody needs a little TLC. This book is about self-awareness, self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. And that's all important about when you want to live your best life, because if you can't even walk in your best life, guess what? Somebody will try to come and crumble you, because there are people out here, that's their goal, steal, kill, and destroy. So this will be a good book to get. Everybody needs a little TLC, 90 days of affirmations. And you know, affirmations are good for helping to reprogram your mind and help you to have a positive mindset. So can we go back to another commercial? I want to show them what I'm going to be doing this weekend, because I got some good things going on. So we can talk until it comes, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, you stop giving us that cryptic Joker look. You know,
whatever. Tawawn, you know I'm having a good time. I'm like a little kid. Shoot, I usually.
I'm actually enjoying this conversation, and I'm glad that I made this my first topic, living your best life, because I really do think that it's very important. It's something that people should define in their own, and people should find out how can they live their best life. Everybody should live their best life. I believe everybody.
I believe that, but again, it starts with from the inside out, and you have to really understand who you are, and you know. And then I have surrounded myself with what I call the truth telling circle sisters. You know, you guys really keep it real and keep you grounded, right? Because when when I start, straying over, you like, come back over here. You know what I mean? And you need that in your life. You need people who are truth tellers, right? But they also need to know their own path too, because it's hard to put somebody in their lane when you ain't even in yours. And that's what I love about the circle of people that God has placed in my life. Everybody knows their lane. We're not trying to compete with one another. We're trying to build one another. And it's just an amazing thing. But that took time as well, because everybody that is attracted to me, because everybody can't take me as a friend, they're very secure in who they are. And a lot of times people want to gravitate to people who are weak so they could be the star of the thing. And that's when you're not living your best life and you're not being authentic, because they become the yes person to you and they build you up and you not all of that. Oh, okay, Tawawn, I'll stop talking. I'm getting that look.
Look, Gail kind of passionate about that piece. So let me ask you ladies this. So we talked about
I am passionate about it because I'm sick of people lying.
But you know what? You really can never you really can never
You can't
control people
control,
line,
yeah.
and people who align, they have yet to have that moment of where they become so self-aware that they realize that they don't need to lie to go up and be who
Yeah,
they need to be. It's still
yeah.
some work in them that needs to be done. So, which all you can do for people like that is just put your hand over that way and just say a prayer, and you just hope that they can have some level of revelation, some epiphany. Go to somebody else's conference and sit and listen and learn and really get some nuggets and tools that can really help them not show up in that manner. Because
You
people
know
who
what it
do that,
is,
People reach
Tawawn?
and realize they're good enough. You are good enough exactly how God made you. And when you settle
but you
that,
know what, Gail? But that's easy to say. But when you
Yeah.
have been broken, people who have been broken to places, and I mean broken and never have gotten any type of healing, never have sat
Mhm.
anywhere to learn anything. Because you'll be amazed about how many people who are just sitting and they do the same thing every day. They are watching Housewives, they're watching Archie Bunker or whatever. I don't know, y'all. Whatever's on TV, they watching, but they're
I
doing
said
nothing
Archie
to
Bunker.
feed their
girl,
mind.
Archie
Right,
Bunker,
right.
honey, he ain't been on in years.
Yeah,
Where
I mean
you get
that's what came to mind. Okay, that's just what came to my mind. Okay, The
Archie
Simpsons. I
Bunker?
don't know,
Oh,
but what I'm
The bottom line
saying
too,
is,
people need to learn how to have the hard conversations that they're scared with themselves, that they're scared to have with other people. Have the hard
yes,
conversations so that you can then uncover like what's really keeping you in that place, why you're not getting ahead, why you're not progressing forward, why you're still feeling stuck, why you're not having the success that you desire, et cetera, et cetera. Is because you need to fix some things, like Tawan keeps saying. You're broken inside. You got some things to deal with. Those issues keep resurfacing because you're not having the right hard conversations with yourself. So that's what people need to do.
right. You really can't even know your self worth when you don't know yourself.
Yeah, for
mm,
sure.
that's
For
good.
sure.
You really you got to know you in order to know what you're worth.
Yep,
You got to know
absolutely.
you, build your self esteem and your self confidence. And people don't understand the interconnection between those four things, and they truly are what make us our being. Really,
Yes.
that all three
Yes.
of us can say we living our best lives because I know y'all personally, so we are very self aware. I know all three of us are got very high self esteem. And I'm not saying that our self esteem don't go up and down because that's just normal. That's life. We
Absolutely.
have
Yeah.
self confidence
Yeah.
and we know our worth. But I have to say, it took me a long time to know my total worth. I knew I was worth something, but it took a while to know my total worth. Now, I wasn't the person though, Gail, that the people you talking about. I wasn't lying and showing things, just acting all crazy, lying and pretending to be somebody I wasn't. What I did was I put my dukes up and I just was a mean person and kept people off of me because I didn't want you to see what I perceived as my inadequacies. So I wouldn't let you get close
Mhm.
enough. Those people who are lying to themselves and telling lies and all those things, and you need to go back and say, what makes me so broke? I need to tell lies and I need to come on, like
Mhm.
we said, Facebook and pretend to be something that I'm not. All of us, all three of us are in the arena where we speak and we do these things. We coach and we help people. I follow y'all follow me. Y'all might not know what I'm doing because I don't put on here, oh, I got a speaking gig and I'm making $10,000 and I got this in the mail and they flying me here. I don't do that because I done seen that said 900 times. I don't know if they telling the truth or not. I'm not saying
Exactly.
that everybody who does it is lying. What I'm saying is fakes, you can't go get no facts on this because you didn't tell me where you was going to speak and you just said somebody hired you. You're going to
Yeah.
speak. They put
But
me in place.
the
Now
thing
you
with
don't have
that
to
too, yeah, the thing with that too, Tawan, is why do you feel that you need that type of justification or that type of acceptance from people outside of your circle, that you got to post these things. You need that instant gratification from other people to boost you up, build you up. That's why you're showing your checks. That's why you're posting your vacations, or, oh, they flew me out here, because you want people to think or to place you on the pedestal that you don't feel that you're actually on yourself. So I think when people do stuff like that, it speaks loud to me. It's like, okay, yeah, she's feeling a little bit insecure. She's trying to, justify some self-justification, or, something like that, whatever the word is I'm trying to look for, but y'all know what I'm saying. I think that's what that boils down to. And there's some things there that needs to be addressed that are not being addressed. And you're leaning on other people to kind of boost you up in that area.
I think.
And let me say this: it is nothing wrong. Wait a minute, Gail. Before you say anything, let me say this though. I want to say, because I don't want anybody to think that we're bashing people who do that or things like that, because that's not what we're talking about. Because there has been times when I have showed where I was or something like that, but I don't do it to level of 1,000 either. It is good to talk about, because you should celebrate when these things happen.
Absolutely,
for
you should celebrate your wins.
I'm not posting my checks for nobody. I don't care. I will tell you, I'm speaking, I'm teaching at this convention. I will show, me slaying the stage. I will show all of that. But I get on Facebook, and y'all know too. I'll tell them, yeah, I acted up with Gil or whatever, because I there has to be a balance, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna post the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because again, the people who follow me got to know that ain't no marriage is perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just a vessel, but I also make mistakes. I acted a fool. I've been on the verge of divorce twice. I say it, because I don't give the devil no foothold to be playing in my head. Even when, and Tawawn know this, before my conference all the time, me and Gil used to have these big blowouts. And I used to be like, I'm going to get up here and talk to these women. And me and Gil, we ain't even speaking now. Now I just get up there and tell them, yep, I cussed him out. He cussed me out. And I'm here to teach. They receive me better than that, than me trying to act like everything good. And he walk in the auditorium and I try to kiss him and he pull away. They don't know why he pulled away, because we just had a big blowout. See, I don't play them games.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's so funny. You just said. Go ahead, Tawawn.
What'd you say, Tawawn?
No, go ahead. I was going to say, somebody in the chat said that sometimes it's informational when people put stuff out there. And yes, sometimes it is informational, because, if you follow them, you might want to go to where they're speaking at. You might want to hear them and things like that. But if you pay a close enough attention, and maybe it's something about the coaches in us, I don't know. But if you pay close enough attention, sometimes you start to see, and I'm sure between the three of us, we're also speaking from personal experience of some things that we know that the audience that's watching us doesn't necessarily know, that it's people posturing, and they're posturing to make themselves feel good. And if you're really a coach and you're talking about and you're trying to lead and serve people and help people get to their whatever it is you're trying to help, because everybody coach for different reasons. If that's what you're trying to do, you definitely have to operate from a place of confidence, know your worth, and transparency. It's okay to say, you know what, I took a free gig, but I took a free gig out in I'll just put it out there. I took a free gig. I went out to, where did I go, Gail? I went to Florida, and I taught at the Unlock Living Conference, and it was the best thing that I did. I met some very great.
Like I tell people all the time, listen,
I got paid, didn't get paid, but I didn't do it to posture. I didn't do it to make myself feel good about myself. I did not feel good. I said it because I was loving the fact that somebody reached out to me, and I was working in my purpose, part of living my best life. That's what I was excited about. And I just don't want people
look what came out of that, though. I have done stuff for free, and it has been more lucrative for me to do it for free, because the people that was in the room literally catapulted me to something totally different. You see what I'm saying? So
Different.
it ain't all about the check. Again, when you're in this type of business, if you come from a place of servant, God's going to supply the
Yes.
need. He going to take care of you. That's why when I said, there's been some people during this pandemic, their marriage was on the brink, and God spoke to me and said, Gail, do it. And I have been blessed beyond my even what I could even ask or think, because I said yes. So it's not when you get into your lane and living your best life, God will bless you in places that you wouldn't even think about. It
Yes.
has nothing to do with money, right? It has everything about the seed that you have sown in somebody else's life. And that's the reason why I say we got to quit faking on here, because every time you show up at you ain't getting paid $10,000. Have you gotten paid $10,000? Yes, I have too. All of us probably have. But there's been some times when somebody just say, I can only give you some food, but I'm okay with that because I'm still walking in my purpose. I'm still transforming lives, and I'm still doing what God has called me to do, right? And that $50 that they gave me, or that lunch, literally has changed thousands of people's lives. That's the reason why I do
Absolutely.
the work that I do, not because of the money, because God takes care of me. And so you have
It's
to
so
shift
funny.
your mind.
I want
I
to answer a
had
question. A young lady answered
okay.
a question. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Benita.
No. Go ahead. Let's take the question.
Oh yeah, young lady said in the chat, how do you know when somebody is where did the question go? When somebody is posturing and somebody is flexing. For me, I'm going to define how I perceive it to be that way. And it's when every time I see you post something, it's always about, I got this gig. I got this gig. I got this gig. This is what's happening to me. This is what's happened to me. This is what happened to me. But when I don't ever see you show some of the sad parts of it, or I don't see any other posts. I don't even see you posting anything to encourage and motivate whoever your tribe is.
Exactly.
But I always see you posting about, oh, I got this gig and I got this gig and I got this gig. I start
And
to
they
wonder,
paid for this
did you
and
really?
did that and do that. Yeah.
Yes, and right. I mean, because let's be very clear. Oprah does not get on nothing and talk about what nobody did. Okay. Who flew her out to
Yes.
do anything. And when we say success leave clues, they leave clues. The coaches that I have, they're on social media empowering in groups. They
Yes.
are not talking. I was on Tony Robbins' stage. I was with Brian Tracy. I was with Lisa Nichols.
Or whomever.
No,
Yeah, I
or
agree with you
whomever.
on that, Tawawn.
They
And
don't
like I
do
said,
that.
we're all in a showy business, right? In order for
Yeah.
people to be attracted to you, people are attracted to the shiny. I get that. But it does have to be a balance. It has to be a balance where you give back. I give back through my wife chat. I give back through my wife life with Dr. Gail on YouTube. I give back a lot of time that people don't even realize that I do, because I
Absolutely.
don't post those things on there. I do a lot of work with battered women. I do a lot of work with families who are displaced that are in shelters. I do a lot of that kind of stuff, right? But again, I don't post that stuff because it's stuff that these people have to have safety, especially these wives that are being battered and stuff. I can't post, yeah, I was just over here, because that'll attract people back to a safe house or something like that. It's a lot of stuff, but again, to me, that's what brings me joy, right? Yes. Have I been able to travel the world and teach and speak and got paid for it? Excellent. I will post that, but I will also post the good, the bad, and the ugly that's going on with Gail. You know what I'm saying? I will post that as well. And to me, that's still living my best life, because people are getting to see a glimpse in the true of who I am, right? I
Right.
will get on Facebook with no makeup and tell her, I posted the other day, don't make fun of my house shoes because I'm at home recovering, whatever that is. But you have to be, but I'm comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with what I bring to the table. I'm comfortable with God, with the things that God has placed in my life. Has nothing to do with material things, because material things can't bring you health. Material things
Absolutely.
can't bring you a sound mind. Material things can't bring movement to your limbs. If you look at my birthday post was all about my relationship with God, movement to my limbs, right mind. All of those things are important to me because before then they was not. But as I've grown and mature and see that tomorrow ain't promised to you, that's living my best life, being able to move, being able to know what day it is, being able to have my kids and my husband love me and take care of me now that I got a situation going on with my health. That's what's important to me. All this other stuff really don't matter. It
Mm,
really don't. That's
yeah.
my best life. I'm living
That's
my
Well,
what I
best
was
life right
about
now.
to say. I was about to say your best life when your mental, physical, emotional, and financial health is aligned. That's
Yes.
when you can say you're living your best
yes.
life.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
So
good
that
stuff.
brings we're coming down to the last 8 minutes, although we can hang on if y'all want to hang on. But that brings what you just
Listen.
said, Benita, brings me back to because I want to give some tips about how you start living your best life.
Absolutely.
Of course, we talk first have to define what that means for yourself. You really have to define what that means for yourself. Tawawn, Benita, Gail, nobody else can tell you that. If you have a relationship with God, you need to get connected. You need to get on your face, on your knees, and you need to talk to Him and say, I really, truly need to know what my purpose is and understand why I'm here. And so I can live the best life. And Lord, help me. And I believe in God. So yes, you will hear that from me. And if you don't like that, you might not want to come to TeaTalks.
TeaTalks
So I'm
with
going to tell you
Tawawn.
that. Come to TeaTalks with
Yeah.
Tawawn because I'm going to talk about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But what I'm saying is that's part of, to me, living your best life. But I also want to say having a vision for your life. Where do you see
Mm,
yourself? We get so stuck. Where do you see yourself in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Because living your best life is not just today. It's how am I going to live my life out? I remember when Prince died. I mean, let's just talk about Cicely Tyson. She just passed. Mary Wilson just passed. You can definitely say these people lived their best life. And another thing, they left here empty because they was giving their all the way
yes.
up into the end. It's a part of living your best life. But the third thing is, or I should say the fourth is, you have to set intentions. You can have whatever vision you have for your life, but if you don't have any intentions to move you in that direction, then you're never going to get to living your best life anyway. You can't just sit back and say, I'm going to live my best life and hope it just jump up and pop up in your living room, and now you're like, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I'm living your best life. That's not going to have anything. Identify your strengths and your weakness. You want to live your best life, you got to know where your strengths, you got to know your weakness, because you got to work on your weakness, because people will know your weakness and they will use it. Let me just tell you that people
Mm-hmm.
will figure out your weakness. They probably know them better than you do. Matter of fact, if you don't know them, ask somebody. I bet you your best friend can tell you, your husband, your friends can tell you. Know those things. Those are 5 or 6 things that I think that can start you on your journey to living your best life. As we are coming to the close on the launch of
TeaTalk with
TeaTalks
Tawawn.
with Tawawn. I want to talk. I want to give the ladies an opportunity to talk about what's going on with them, because they are definitely living their best life. They are doing things to impact not only what they do in their business, but also in the community. So I want to ask y'all if y'all can do in a quick minute or so, because I definitely got to give a shout out to my sponsor. But a quick minute. Tell me, Benita, what's going on with you?
Okay, so really, really quick, aside from just coaching and helping women build their businesses and start a brand that they can actually fall in love with, I have my fourth anthology project that I'm working on. It's called Shit Great Leaders Do. And it is, it's a compilation of gladiators, game changers, and gurus in the business industry, providing tips, strategies, and tools that new and aspiring entrepreneurs can glean from. I have that coming up. I'm so excited about that. I also have my summit, my Empower to Prosper Power Summit coming up in April that I'm working on, April 12th through the 15th. It's free. Definitely, you guys, if you want to attend that, you're going to get what you need to get you going, building some of these ideal lives that y'all y'all are trying to build, you can join this Power Summit, and my speakers will definitely help you get unstuck, give you what you need to get going. Those are the two main things, in keeping it short, what I have going on and what I'm working on.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Benita. Come
You're
on.
welcome.
Come on, Gail.
Well, for
What you got going
me,
for you?
I have Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage Wise Leveling Up 2021 going on March the 26th and 27th. It is going to be a virtual live immersion experience. And so I have some amazing teachers and speakers that are going to come and pour into wives like never before. We have wives registered from all over the world. And I have the amazing Judge Lynn Toller that's going to come and talk to us about
Nice.
what is divorce costing you, and it's going to cost you more than just money. So that's what I have going on. So you can go to my website, gailcrowder.com, and register for that. And again, thank you guys so much. And thank you, Tawawn, for allowing me to be a part of this amazing podcast.
No,
Yes.
thank you, ladies. Thank you for
Thank
being on
you,
Tea Talks with
Mama.
Tawawn. So I got a couple of things going on as well. I have TLC Publishing Company. We have our next anthology. Oh well, okay, no, put that up. Let's go with that first. Yeah. Well,
Nice.
this upcoming Saturday, I am busy. Will be the keynote speaker at the Single Parents Achievers 5th annual graduation celebration. The founder of this organization is Rochelle McAllister. She's doing some amazing things with single parents. I was a part of her program this year. I taught on goal setting. So I'm just happy that they selected me to be their keynote speaker. And I have six powerful tips to give the ladies and gentlemen who will be there. I also will be at the Leading Within Black History Conference. Yes, I will be a speaker here as well, and I will be talking about the 5 ways that I lead within, in my home, in my community, and within my business. And the last thing that I have is, like Bonita and so many others, I also, TLC Publishing Company has their next book coming out. It is an anthology. I showed you the book at first. Everybody Needs a Little TLC. This is a 3-series book. So the second one is coming out is on self-care and self-love. So we are looking for authors. I'm looking for 35 authors. So if you're interested, you can definitely DM me, find me on Facebook, or you can always come to www.tawawn.com and leave a message on the contact page. I'm here to tell you that these little books are powerful, very powerful. This book is in 2 organizations within PG County, Department of Health and Human Services. We have another program who's picked it up. And I now have a therapist who has picked this book up, who's going to be using it with her clients. So when I'm looking for authors, I'm looking for individuals who are ready to serve and empower a nation. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not writing to be the next Amazon bestseller, but I am writing to impact and make change and transformation. I want to thank the ladies, Dr. Bonita Parker and Dr. Gail Crowder, for being on Tea Talks with Tawawn. I could not have had a better launch of my podcast. I really appreciate you ladies. Of course, I would have you back on again talking about something different. Gail's a sexpert, so everybody want to talk about sex, baby. Yeah, everybody want to talk about sex. But I just want to thank everybody. So I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat. I want to say thank you, Jerry Goins. She was asking some very good questions. And the question she was asking leads me to know that it's very important about knowing about living your best life, but also about knowing about people who are out here pretending. And being able to know, because what we don't want is people to go pay their hard-earned money and you meet a wolf in sheep clothing. We don't want that for you. We want the best for everybody. That's why we have this podcast, because we want you to become the best version of yourself and create your best life. And I gotta thank Lisa Dove Washington. Y'all don't see her, but DSM Media is behind the scenes. So the commercials you've seen, the little ticklers, and how beautiful this is looking, this is all because of Lisa. She has helped me take my brand and make my first launch of the really
Dove
super
Style
nice.
Media,
And
baby. Dove Style Media.
Yes, Dove Style Media. So, and I gotta say one last thing. We have a sponsor. The sponsor is Tea Lovers Cafe, and they are part of the sponsors for Tea Talks with Tawawn. You can find them at tealoverscafe.com, and you'll see their commercial on the next Tea Time Talk with Tawawn.
And they have great tea.
Oh, they do have great tea. They really do have great tea.
Yes, they do have great tea. And I'm drinking that special for February, which is raspberry champagne. And when I tell you it's some smooth, woo,
Nice.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Join me, please, next week at 8:00. And believe it or not, next week at 8:00, we're going to be talking about this book, and you're going to meet some of the authors. So please join me. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you.